Hey guys, just want to talk about our Mythic Jailer kill last Wednesday after the new nerfs went through. We killed it pretty much right after the nerfs went through, and we did lots and lots and lots and lots of pulls pre-nerf, which was pretty grueling, but we managed to get the kill. And this is the strat for the after the nerfs. I'm going to talk about P3 and P4 and some of the things that went good on our kill and some of the things that went really bad, so you can avoid those bad things and have a nice clean kill rather than this terrible scuff kill that we got on Wednesday. So I found myself talking through P1 and P2 and having pretty much nothing to say because it all went really smooth. So let's catch you up to where we are now at the start of P3 here. We've had one death which got battle res straight away. Everything else has gone really smooth. We've had one DC. Boda DC'd, but then came back fairly quickly within sort of 20 seconds ish, and he didn't die while DC'd either. So we lost a little bit of damage on the boss, but pretty much nothing else. It was during P2. So it was okay as well. So we've had one DC and one death. Everything else has been real smooth, except that I have used my seed. So I died on one of the MCs. I came out of the MC really early and got hit by the Torment swirly, and I was going to miss one of the blood soak heals, and BJ was an absolute pro gamer and backed that up. So if you want to see that pro play by BJ, go watch the full video, which is linked in the description below, which is the full kill. But let's talk about P3 and P4 now. So this is the start of P3. The boss is at 41% and everything's going pretty well right now, and it feels like a good pull.
Don't pre-move.
So I'm using a weak aura here to tell me all of my defensives. That is also talked about in the comments of the kill video. I'm not going to talk about that now because I don't really think that their weak aura is needed anymore. I don't think the boss really does enough damage that hunters are in as much danger as they were in before. They were significantly in danger, more so than any other class before the nerfs, but now after the nerfs, it's pretty much fine. And if you remember to feign death when you're going to take damage, if you remember to immune what you need to immune, I think you're pretty much going to be okay. So we won't talk about this weak aura that pops up. Don't really think it's needed anymore to kill this boss. It's obviously like good, but just feign death for every soak and you're fine. So we bait the knockback here. It's in a little bit of a scary position. It's like right on top of us and slightly left, which is not ideal to run through to here. And I'm kind of at the back of the group, whereas like you want to be where this guy is. And I've only got 2 seconds to run through, and I'm not running post haste, so that's kind of important to remember for this. I'm running a short turtle build because I immune some extra things in P1 and P2. You might want to go check the whole video to see those. But I'm not running post haste, so I'm a bit slower as well. So I actually opt to dodge where the melee dodge. So I found that like if you're ranged and you're not going to make it all the way on top of these people, just go on melee. They're dodging too, so you should be fine. So I actually go to top. I dodge with the melee, and I'm back stacked up with everyone else anyway, so it's absolutely fine. Here we go, and this, now, something weird happens, right? The boss is here where we want it to be. The chains go on the tank, which is what we want. John's going to break these instantly while we're inside this darkness and this AMC, which is perfect. Bang, chains break. Boss randomly runs over here and follows John, right? Which we don't want. We want it over here on Van. So you can see that the boss is now going to channel the beam really not where we want him to be. We want him to be over here in front of this blood, and he's way over there. So this is not ideal. And this is not what's going to happen on most of your pulls either. The boss is going to be basically right where that circle icon is, right here on star. So we all had to move into the line. You can see us all move, and then that kind of makes the positions at the back a little bit dodgy for the mages and stuff to get the heal.
Into line.
And we need to get some extra people over here to link from the tank. You can see the DK tank is circle. So this is not ideal for our kill, and this had never happened before where the boss was here. So if you're trying to do it, you just know that the boss is likely to be here, and you're going to do it on, you're going to have a little bit less space, but you're going to do it the way you've seen every other video.
Make sure we're
I'll connect.
So John says I'll connect. I also run in to connect. So we get two people here, me and John, connecting from tank to the raid, through here to the Boomkin who's helping, and there's two mages behind, I think, or a mage and a warlock, I think, behind. You can see Gabe's out of range, Dusty's out of range, so those two mages are behind them healing Azeroth. So we managed to still get the heal, even though it's a little bit dodge.
Turn around, dodge. We need to make
and
sure
now that the heal was slightly late, and so it means that we need to gate a little bit early.
Ready?
So I should be gating like now. The file's being cast. I should be gating like now. So we gate slightly early, slightly late, I mean. And now we've gated. I'm already in turtle so that I immune the torment. I do not. Now, if you turtle and you get hit by one of those missiles, you'll still take the damage, but you won't get silenced. Okay, so I turtle the missiles and the torment here to just be as safe as possible during this moment. And I don't really care if I got chunked a lot by this blood, because I know I'm going to basically have the full duration of turtle to get topped back up. So I'm pretty much going to be fine. So I've gated here. All the torments are about to go out. Here they go. And everyone gated well. We're okay. So because I'm in turtle, I go straight to the bait spot, obviously. Now we have to do the star, 5-pointed star positions for the torments. We've got this nice weak aura that gives people markers on where they're supposed to be. I'm lucky hunter, so I don't have to do any of that, and you won't see the weak aura pop up for me because I don't get targeted with torment. So you can see everyone move nicely. Now the most important thing here is that there's a free spot in the middle. Torment doesn't do enough damage now that you're going to die if 3 people happen to stack up on top of each other. Now we actually get quite a nice group here. You can see a few people immuned it, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 torments. We don't have the full 10 because we got 2 people immuning here, me and the other hunter, and I think one of the paladins is immuning as well. Yes, you can see the bubble here on Rev. So the 3 people that immuned all stopped a torment cast, which is really lucky.
Clean.
If you get more than this, say you get all 10, right? And say someone moves into the wrong spot, right? So we've got these 5 points. Say someone moves into the wrong spot and you got 3 on one, you're probably still not going to die. But you will wipe if you don't leave a spot clear for the tanks and everyone in the middle. That will wipe you. So you need to have a clear spot in the center because everyone drops off their torments, bang, and then they all run into the middle. See, they're stacked here in the center, and they don't get hit by any of these extra aftershock swirlies. That is what's most likely to wipe you at this point if you don't get these. Because even if you're ranged and you're supposed to be getting to this point, if you drop your torment here, you're not going to be able to run through this torment to the bait spot before these go off. So you want to drop it off, get to the clear spot that everyone's left in the center, and then run to the bait spot. That's what's really important about this section.
Right now.
And I feign death for the damage that's about to come. This druid's he's just playing it extra safe, right? He dropped off his swirly and he just does not want to die, so he's running away, but he needs to get here for the bait.
And CC.
He's running all the way around so that he can bait the knock in the correct spot, because it's really important that this knock is correct. Okay, we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 torments. So I was wrong, not 7. Some people didn't have the weak aura shouting it out above their head. But we get 9 ads, and we got 2, 2, 2, 2, and 1. So that's really, really good positioning by everyone. Well done. We use a weak aura, which you didn't see on my screen, but we angle it. Some people use it like facing Azeroth. Some people don't. Do what your raid leader tells you to do for this bit. All right, make sure you stun them. You can see the leg sweep on all the ads. Good job to get the leg sweep up, and then we do 2 ticks of the buff. Just do 2, don't do 3. You'll see how low everyone's health is. Just doing 2 here gets the buff to 5 stacks, and you can easily blow some cooldowns, get some boss damage, and kill the ads inside the leg sweep.
Stabilize.
You can see that the Warlock follows up with another stun. Good job, Warlocks. And
Finish off.
when we baited the knock in the right spot, because all the ranged are here.
Watch
After you bait the knock in the right spot and you move in a little bit, that's when you take the 6th tick. Right? If you go 1, 2, 3, you're probably going to die. So we go 1, 2, we wait like 4 seconds, then we take the 6th one so that we get topped up a little bit more.
Well done,
Get
John.
knocked into the middle.
Defile soon. Range get ready to move.
Bait the defile
Defile,
over here.
Move. And ready to
Chain
stop.
Now, the boss casts chains now. But on this particular night, a couple of times this had happened, we didn't get the chains cast from the boss. We're not sure why, but we think it's because of the taunt over the whole cancel cast thing that was happening during like the Race to World First or whatever, when they were trying to cancel the cast of the heal. It was purely a fluke. It was purely just a weird thing that happened a couple of times on this night. You will most likely have chains on your pulls. So I will talk as if the chains are going out already. Okay, we've got one of our tanks is miles away already, waiting to move the boss. And we've got our paladin tank trying to get the chains on him. And we've got our melee that we want the chains on closest to this tank. That's why the ranged are staying back a bit, right? So if the ranged keep running, then we're going to end up closest to the tank and we're going to get chains on ranged, which is real bad. Okay, and our DK tank is already out of range. He's trying to be far from the main tank as well, so that he doesn't get chains on him. Okay, so as the chains go out, he should be casting it now, but he doesn't. He kind of weirdly stepped and he doesn't cast it. But the chains would end up on this group of melee right here, which is what we want.
Chain going on, John.
Okay, so the chains don't go out, but imagine there's 3 chains on that group of melee there. When these soaks go out, then the ranged have to book it. Now, what you can see is this DH player, our raid leader, he dashes away really far to break the first chains. So he doesn't really, he's not going to play differently just because the chains didn't go out this pull. He thinks there's a chain on him. He's going to break that chain, this is when you should break the first chain. So DH dashes away, breaks the first chain. Imagine we took some damage. Chunk. Chain breaks. He runs back around because he's also got to then get back onto the tank spot. We do tanks there, melee there, range there. Other people do different positions. It doesn't matter. This is just what happens. So we should have 2 more chains attached to some melee here, right? Imagine that they're there. Bang. These go out. We've still got the 6 stacks, but we want to refresh this 6 stack. So we got 10 seconds to get to the next blood and refresh this stack, while we've also got some chains on us. So we all run. Now we're not breaking a chain here, right? We're too low and we've got the heal absorb on us. So if you've got these chains on, don't break them yet. We run. We get to the next blood. We've got 4 seconds left. We need this person to just catch up, stand on green. And then we would refresh the stack.
So we'll refresh 3, 2, 1, go.
Right, and you can see the tank steps in here to refresh the buff, Everyone's going to get refresh this buff. We've topped up. We've still not broken those 2 chains. If you imagine that those 2 chains are still there. We don't want to break them yet. And we refresh the buff. Actually, we don't refresh the buff. He runs back out before the tick goes off. And now this is sketch as he has to run back in. Oh my gosh, it was so clutch. It's insane. So don't do that. Whew. So we get the 6-stack refresh. Just 1 tick. See, we get chunked a bit here. That's why we don't want to break the chain yet.
Refresh.
Okay, so we refresh now. We easily get
Nice.
topped up. Now you would have your warrior or whoever's got the other chain leap out and break a chain. So you would go bang, break a chain and go back in. And then you would break your 3rd chain now as well. I don't even know how many chains there is anymore. There's like 1 less than there used to be, but you know, your ret pally would have to horsey out and maybe get life gripped back in or something to break the last chain. But this is when you do it, after you've refreshed the 6 stacks, before the knock bait, because the melee don't have to bait the knock, right? So the melee can be breaking these chains while we're baiting knock on this. And here's the stack point for the knock bait.
Get ready. Knock.
So if the last person is still breaking their chain here during this knock, they just have to be careful not to like get knocked into a hole while breaking the chain. Okay, but hopefully they've done it by now.
Watch this knock here. Just don't
We
mess
get
up
knocked
this
this way. The melee get knocked over here. Don't get knocked into the blood if you're melee. We bait defile here. Don't bait it near here because it grows anyway. Okay, so make sure you bait it back here so that you don't bait it onto this blood because that'll be bad.
And range, don't step the puddle.
Last.
Right, so defile's in a good spot. And for us on this pull, the boss is still a bit high. Like, ideally you have it lower here. You can easily phase it from 19% right here, but we lust just to make sure. We don't want to get this far in the pull, and because we want to lust like 10 seconds later, that we miss the push. So we lust and push anyway. And what we want to do before this phases to 15%, and before he kills Azeroth, because he's going to kill Azeroth here, right? We don't heal the boss. We don't heal Azeroth again in P3 except for the first one. So before that happens, we want to refresh this 6-stack buff, and that's my job. So here we go. We lust, and we second pot, and we're trying to phase it now. We don't soak this desolation. We just let him kill Azeroth. It's not important.
We need to do a lot of them still. We need to do a lot of them. Let's go.
This is you.
So we need a pump. So he's about to finish this cast, and then he will walk to Azeroth to kill her and wipe you. Okay? So you have to get it to 15% before the boss kills Azeroth and wipes you, okay? But it doesn't matter that Azeroth has no health here. So it finishes the desolation. 16%. I need to refresh this buff.
Refresh.
Get ready for.
I really need to refresh this buff. It's getting a bit late. Azeroth is almost dead. She's at 15.6. I should be in the blood now. I should be standing in the blood now. But I got a little bit late.
No one else touch it.
And look at when it ticks. It ticks right on 15%. This is like really not playing very safely to walk in that like half a second too late. If I don't get this refresh, it's pretty much a wipe because we won't have the damage to burn it in the last phase at all without this buff. Anyway, we take a big chunk from the 6-stack refresh. We get the buff, lucky, right as we phase. It's like second perfect. So I should have really done it the second before and walked in there a second before. Anyway, we've got most of our lust up now. We've still got 30 seconds of lust. We've got 30 seconds of the buff. We're all at half health because we took that tick, but we just want to zerg now.
Good.
So you pump. You will break the shield really early if you do this strat because the shield got nerfed. And now you also need to run because the boss has to get over here.
Death sentence do not so cleave. Listen to my voice. Follow
And so
along.
we
Stay
get,
focused.
I'm not sure if we get lucky or unlucky having Death Sentence on me, because like, I know what I'm supposed to do, but I'm Squishy Hunter, so it's a bit scary to have Death Sentence on me, to be honest. But targets me all the same. We move the boss to here,
Bombs go.
and now we get bombs and the Meteor Cleave.
Bombs go far if you're mobile.
Sloth,
Go
don't stop.
far. Sloth, don't stop. Meteor Cleave. Everyone get in. Look behind you. Don't get.
So something funny happens here for this, for these bombs, right? So we have our warrior and a mage jump into the same hole, and we have our DK jump into this hole. Now, this DK
Get knocked into a.
is the DK that got DC'd. So he has no weak auras up from coming back from DC. This mage jumped in early to guarantee that he didn't like wipe us, and he slow falled. But that
Oh,
baited the
everyone.
warrior to jump in as well at the same time, because they had jumping in the same hole, which is not dangerous on this pool. But it also baited the guy with no weak auras to jump in early as well, because he was watching them for the timing, because he didn't have a weak aura to tell him when.
On in.
So
Well done. Knock soon. Bait knockback. Ready. Knock and move.
and they both die. So the mage slow falls and comes out nicely. The warrior who got baited by the mage jumps in and dies, because he has, if you're jumping in the same hole as someone, if you do it late, you're not going to make it in because the hole will already be closed. And the guy who DC'd and was watching them for the timing of when to jump in, he also dies because he jumps in early because of them. So 3 people jump in early and 2 people die. But we've got a res. We've got another res coming up shortly, so it's not the end of the world. And Dusty lives. Okay,
We're moving
knockback
forward to
goes
spells
out.
next.
Now,
Get ready.
I've still got the death sentence on me, and right now it's chunking really hard. It's hurting me a lot. I popped a lot of defensives there because that's when my weak aura told me to. And that was assuming I was either doing a bomb or doing the soak of the cleave. But because I did neither, the defensives I used there were kind of wasted. Anyway, we're using our the buff is over, 7% on the boss. We keep
Move to
moving
this
again
spell.
out of
Res,
the,
res.
and then I want to stand under the boss to get dispelled soon. But watch my health here getting hit by death sentence. Put
We're
chunk,
just bumping boss right
It's
now.
okay.
Just
Chunk.
whenever we
It's
can,
okay.
just press. Dispel it.
chunk. Right, I get 3 massive chunks there, and I'm 100% dead. But because I blew all my defensives on the cleave, which I didn't even stand in. But luckily our healers are literally like spamming heals on me at this moment to keep me up from this death sentence, and I get dispelled in 3 seconds.
3, 2, 1. Dispel.
So I take one more big chunk, get topped up
Tanks
instantly
catch.
again. I just get dispelled right under the boss, and the tanks catch.
Bombs. This is normal pizza slide.
So this bit's good, and now this is going smoothly. We haven't rezzed anyone because they fell in a hole. Their bodies are like miles away, so that's a bit disappointing. And obviously, 2 of the best execute classes in the game as well. We got Unholy DK and Arms Warrior, who are the ones that died. So this boss would be significantly lower if you didn't have that weird situation with people jumping in the holes early. So just follow your weak aura and you'll be fine. Second group of bombs go out.
Guys, come
Everyone
here
scatters.
and do your normal bomb.
Doesn't matter where you go, really. Doesn't matter where these bombs go. Just pick a hole. If it's the same hole as someone else, it still should be fine. You should still live. The tanks have got the death sentence at this point, so everyone else is pretty darn safe. And actually, we're rezzing now as well. We're getting battle rezzes on them now.
Do your
Don't
normal
dispel
bombs.
healers.
Do not dispel. Do your normal
Just
bombs.
pumping
Either
boss,
this
pumping
is
boss.
Torment.
So right as these bombs go off is when the torment goes off. This would be a great point to turtle or reduce the damage from this torment.
You need
Got to
to
spread
far,
out
go
for
far, go
this.
far.
boss
Now there's an unfortunate defile here.
clean, Millie. Keep boss clean and move.
So we got all this space. We need to bait this knockback somewhere. It's going to be, I don't know, somewhere here because that's where everyone is. You got to run through, not touch defile. Boss is at 3%. Anywhere over here, anywhere we're standing over here, and boss dies. Easy game. But look,
Move.
knockback goes where? Knockback goes way at the back. Absolute perfect position for the knockback. The knockback could have been anywhere. It could have been over here. It could have been over here. It could have been over there. You know, so we get really perfect knockback. If it's over here, it's still fine. We're just going to get pushed. Just don't get pushed into Azeroth. But then we got this lovely gentleman.
Stacking here and watch the knock.
Who's convoking and walks straight into this. This is like the only dangerous defile because it was from the person who went in the close bomb. So they were in the air, nothing they could do, where to position it. All you have to do is run this way or anywhere here, but he convokes and walks straight into this defile when the boss is at 2%. Yikes. Boosh. Not ideal. So I've put my wild spirits here because that's where we're going to tank the boss. We got all this free space over here. And to do the next dispel in 10 seconds, right? This is like, if we don't step in this defile, easy boss kill. Easy boss kill.
Just get clear. Stay on
But
square.
there's the defile, and this is going to happen on some of your pools as well, and it is not fun when it does. So
Square.
we can kill it here. He walks into the wild spirits, calling for immune. Our raid leader and DH immunes. I've got turtle up, but I decide, I've got turtle up in 1 second actually. I decide to not immune because I've got wild spirits up, so I might be able to do the rest of this damage. And instead I just pop my healthstone health pot.
I'm immune. Just go. I'm immune.
So we're just pumping, and we manage to burn it down before everyone dies. But lots of people are starting to die here, as you can see. 1, 2 deaths.
Go for it.
3, 4, 5 deaths. Tank dies. But we do the dispel, or the person. So tank dies, and that's why these death sentences go out. Okay, the dispel isn't for another 2 seconds, so like it's pretty possible to kill before this dispel is even needed. These swirlies show up because the tank died, not because anyone dispelled. So no one's dispelling now. We're just trying to zerg the boss down and kill it. And
Go for it.
managed to kill it right as I decide to immune. I cast turtle after the boss is already dead. Nice. Right, so not stepping on that defile would mean quite an easy kill with probably just the 2 players who died to the bombs die. So if you want to see the whole kill, the whole pool and all of the comms are in the description in that video. This was just to explain a few of those things that went wrong for us that you can correct and have a much cleaner kill than us. And good luck, have fun, hope you get it. GG's.